everybody. My name is Todd Bright. Welcome to All In Gestures feedback and Q&A session. This is called Red Line Live. So yeah, thanks for joining us this evening, at least on the East Coast this evening, or good afternoon or good morning or middle of the night, wherever you are. So thanks for joining us. This is our feedback session for our All In Gesture members who have submitted their drawings. And we're also taking Q&A from Instagram or YouTube. So yeah, so we're kind of streaming live this session and sharing information with you. So just checking those chats. Mr. Luke, Matt, and Jenny, Erica, I'm gonna look at your drawings tonight. Glad you guys made it live. Cool. And let's see, what are we looking at? Looking at Instagram here. STC Eagle. Cool. Yes. Yeah, Leland Stitch. Awesome. So good. Anyway, let's get into some drawings. All right. Let's do this thing. I'm going to push some buttons around here. We had a really fun session this last weekend. Our model, Kelly, we did Astrid was our theme. Astrid from How to Train Your Dragon. Being everything that's going on with Epic Universe, we thought it'd be fun to, and the release of the new movie, a live action version by Mr. Dean, and we thought we'd do some really cool themes revolving around all that. So, all right, where are we? Here we go. All right, who do we got up first? All right. Okay, we have Erica Skalko from Sweden. Awesome. Erica's been doing a lot of work. Erica, got all your drawings from last week also, from our River Tam theme. So that was really cool. And yeah, here we go. So these are some of our really, really fun, really loose stuff this week, Erica. I really enjoyed looking at your stuff. And what do we got here? Let's see. Let's see here. All right. Gonna move some things around here a little bit. Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. I think so. All right. Trying to remember this pose. Let's see. This was some of her battle poses. That was pretty cool. Let's see here. Come on, computer. Let go. All right, there we go. And so there was a lot of action in these poses. I just love this one where she's crouched over a little bit. That was really cool. I think you had some really good energy, some nice rhythm going on. With this standing one, I think obviously your proportions are just fine. Everything's great. Again, I really love the feeling you had this week. It looks like you had a lot of fun, which is, a must, I would say. But with this one, I would think maybe just pushing at overall action a little bit. Right now, it just looks like she's just kind of standing with one arm up, one arm down, But and some of these, I think what I'm about to say, I think you've captured this idea in some of your other drawings, but just picking on this one particularly, yeah, I would just push the, and I think I was talking about this in the session as well on Saturday, but the really figuring out which part of the body to lead with, which is something, in the animation thing we try to focus on, especially when you're drawing like a big broad motion, or something that's I don't know, a natural motion, a straight ahead kind of a feeling. But what are you leading with? What's the body leading with? And in this case, I almost want to lead with the chest, thinking about the battle. I think in the pose, it might have been a little bit more like you had it, but I feel like we need to push that movement just to kind of get her out of that neutral pose a little bit, if that makes sense. Like thinking of it like in video game terms, just like a neutral pose. And sometimes you might try it at different things. Like you might try to lead with the chest, or lead with the head and really, completely change, what the model's doing. Or if she has her hand out, is she blocking, which I think, the model was doing that, the blocking kind of a thing. Or is she grabbing something and she's about to whack it, if she's in battle, whack somebody's head or something, you know? So it's like really getting that purpose down, um, as far as like the idea, but also finding the part of the body that is leading the action. It could be the arm, depending on whatever it is that you're trying to do. So, but yeah, that's all. Maybe just pushing it a little bit. So that's all. That's all I got. What do we got here? Super cute. I really like this one. Yeah, I think you did great on these. Just want to point it out. Okay. Um, Here, let's push some buttons here a little bit. Hang on a second. There we go. Just gonna blow this up a little bit. Yeah, I just feel like you have that nice lean. There's a nice little bit of attitude, things like that. I mean, if I was gonna be picky, and since you're asking, uh, I think we could do a little bit more. I like the attitude in the pose, so I think you got a nice foundation here. But I might do something a little different with the with that arm there. Wish I could remember what she was doing there. I think you got the balance good, but just being picky with that arm there. I almost wanted to do a little bit more of a straight there. What's that arm doing there? Is that on her thigh? I might clear this area just a little bit. Let's see. Bear with me. Just with that arm, I almost want to bring it in a little bit more. It's just getting a little curvy. I almost want to give it a nice little straight there. And this is just a detail thing, so Erica. But again, I like the drawing overall. I'm just trying to be a little bit nitpicky here. Just getting a little bit of a structure there. There's a lot going on. I remember she had, for those of you who didn't see the costume or know Astrid, she has a big metal, what do you call it? Um, Shoulder pads, for her armor. But yeah, anyway, all that to say, great stuff. Moving on. Okay, so this is from last week. This is River. And River we kind of covered in last week's session, but I'll go ahead and mess with this a little bit. Let's see here. I think there might be a couple different ideas going on here. Let's see. Remember, she's using her this character. For those of you guys who don't know this character, this is from River Tam from the show Firefly, or the movie Serenity. If you saw that one, she's like the escaped scientific character. She's kind of like a disturbed teenager who's been made into a weapon, that kind of a thing. Anyway, yeah, in this case, I almost wanted to. I need to see the pose, honestly, in this one, but I feel like there's something off balance here a little bit. So I'm almost straightening it out a little bit with the leg. Because what she's doing is she's almost using like this force kind of power, right? To push back her enemy or melt their brain, or I don't know what she's doing, but yeah, and I don't mind the chest out, but I feel like there needs to be like a I don't know. I don't know if it's like the chest needs to be the thing that's out, but also the arm needs to be the hero here. So I feel like if she's leaning too far forward this way, that it's the arm energy is going to lose its power, almost like backing out. Does that make sense? And and so that's why I feel like there's almost too many things going on here in this pose. But I mean, it's not because you don't have the energy in your pose. It's not stiff, that's for sure, which is good. But I just feel like, if we're going to sell this idea of this energy coming, like she's really got, and my arm got a little long there, but it's like, I feel like, yeah, almost you need to straighten her up a little bit, give her some resolve in her body language there. But yeah, anywho, great job, Erica. Thanks for submitting your stuff again. Awesome, awesome. This is another Erica, Erica Bay. Hello, hello. And Erica's here with us this evening. Hi, Erica. Yeah, that was a fun one. Okay, you made a nice dragon. Toothless. There it is. Yeah, she's kind of petting that dragon. And let's see here. Okay, well, I'm going to mess with the head a little bit here. I feel like you did good with the body language. I feel there's just a little disconnect with the, whatchamacallit, with the neck and the shoulders a little bit. But I like what you got. Let's see here. She's a little nervous about Toothless, right? So maybe, and I love that you have her, whatchamacallit, her body leaning away, her torso. But I feel like we could maybe even push that more with the whole body, okay? Meaning I really want to bring that leg out, that front leg, just to get her a little bit more distance between her and the dragon, you know? And I don't mind the arm drop. She's like, nice dragon, you know? Yeah, I think that's all. But I like your proportions that you have. I think you pulled that off really well. She looks very feminine, which is great. But yeah, I think just a little bit more lean. And I do like how you have her head below her shoulder there a little bit. Kind of gives her that little layer of protection. But there's something going on with the structure there. Let's see here. It's like picture that clavicle down here somewhere. Yeah, Something like that. Just a little bit more. Again, I don't mind her shoulder pad like hiding her. She's kind of ducking behind it a little bit. But yeah, I think that we got to do a little something there. But I'd say the biggest idea is just that bigger body language there of getting away. This was really fun. Let's see. What is she doing there? You have a lot of good attitude in this one, which was really fun. Let's see. Trying to zoom in, maybe? Trying to figure out what she's doing with her arm there. Oh, I see. Okay, I got it. She's just holding her thing above her a little bit there. That's cool. All right. I don't know. I like it. Erica Bay, take it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to move on. After all that. Sorry. Let's see here. Yeah, these look good, Erica. I dig it. Again, maybe just, she's a warrior in the middle of battle, Right now she could be swinging like tennis a little bit. It's like, how does that body language? Because, you have all the proportions. I love all the details you put in that are super cute and fun. And I could tell you had a good time with this session. But in order to kind of break that mold of, is this tennis, or is this somebody swinging a giant hammer, what would be the difference, at first glance? So let's see here. And that's just the overall feeling I get, but I think we're going to have to figure that out together here. What does that look like? Playing again with the idea of leading with the body. I mean, she is a bit more on the feminine side of a warrior, like with her special armor, but she's also, totally kicking butt with a huge weapon. What would that look like? Just like, yeah, would there be a bit of a drag with that arm? Yeah. There we go. Let's see, checking those chats real quick. Ooh, cool. I'm getting some notes there from Instagram too. Very good. Some good observations. Yeah, I think just getting that little bit more lead in the body there. It's like, yeah. I almost want to bend that arm, man. Anyway, let's be a little nitpicky here today, Erica. I think you got some really strong ones this week. Good job. All right, moving on. Yes, add a little more violence to your drawing. I think that's my note. Okay, Courtney, yo. Here we go. What's happening? Oh yeah, she was riding the dragon at this point. Awesome. Very cool, very cool. Let's see here. I think this is also the petting of the... You're welcome, Erica. Thanks for coming in live tonight. Appreciate it. Always love when you guys come in live. The banter continues. Very good. Okay, so this one I think is when she was nervous talking to Toothless, right? So, and then you have some really sweet, sweet things going on in the drawing, and it's very stylized. Excuse me, which is really fun. Let's see here. Well, we just did this pose a second ago. It's like when you're nervous, there's so many different things you could do to get across those emotions of being nervous, like in your body language. And I think that leaning away idea is always good. And I think our model was doing that. Yeah, a second. There we go. It's like getting that overall lean. You could even buckle her knees a little bit, which I always like to do. It's kind of a cute thing. Yeah, that kind of a thing. Just giving her that whole body lean. And really, when we start off these drawings um, with a pose, whether it's, in a workshop like this one, with our model, or going out and drawing in the wild, it's like you really want to hone in on that big idea. It's like this character or this person is nervous, and they're, kind of being cautious, about touching this dragon that's been the enemy, right? And um, what does that feel like? And sometimes you got to get out of your chair, or whatever, or if you're sitting on a bench, or I don't know if you want to do this in public or not, if you're drawing people out in the wilds, um, but it does help sometimes to strike that pose, like with in animation, like we get up when we're acting. Sometimes you videotape yourself doing the actions, for a reference, that kind of a thing. Um, but it really helps, to feel the pose that either the model is in directly, like strike that very pose, or try to feel that emotion, and you're like, gosh, when I did that, my knees really buckled, and yeah, I want to draw that. And then you start to find these little character traits, So anyway, all that to say, nice work this week, Courtney. Very nice. Really sweet. This one's fun too. Really sweet drawing. But I would say with this one, how can we push it, right? This is, I remember Kelly this is the dragon riding. And what did we do here? We did, let's see, I'm gonna move this around just a little bit. Hang on a second. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Okay. Because right now, I feel like, again, you have a really sweet drawing here, some really nice details, lovely stuff going on. But how can we push the essence a little bit more? Just thrill, like, whoa, Because right now, I think her torso is kind of a little bit straight, and maybe we could just bend that back, maybe even cock her head up, or maybe, because I like that you have her angled down. I think we talked about that in class. Like, all right, let's tilt her down, like she's really going, which I love that you went for that, which is really cool, and I see that in the other drawing too. But she's really leaning back, maybe just arcing her back a little bit more, bringing out that chest. I love the arms out. Why not, right? But maybe she's looking down too, Just, and she doesn't have to be looking down, but she's just like, maybe she's like, whoa, almost like a roller coaster, you know? She's on a, that's basically what she's doing. She's on a roller coaster, right? So maybe because she could be looking down a little bit. Just trying to think of things to like push the drama, you know, like really sell that she's on a thrill ride right now, okay? Like she's on a real roller coaster, not some theme park, right? Yeah, and I'm, you know, just doing what you did with their legs and stuff, but I think the main note is like arcing that back, maybe do something a little different with the head just to get her engaged, like looking down. Yeah. And I'm just drawing a little stick figure here, but you get the idea. And I like your hair shapes, very fun. Um, yeah, it's just pushing that a little bit, you know? That's all. So yeah, again, when we push this stuff, you can always rein it in, okay? But if you don't push it far enough, and this goes, I go through this all the time with my work. If you don't push it far enough, you pretty much have to scrap it and start over, you know. But if you push it too far, you can always pull it back in, and then you've discovered something, okay? So don't be afraid to kind of jump in the skin of your characters. All right, Mohi, nice stuff this week. I was looking through these earlier. I was like, I don't know. God grief, these are so fun. Really good energy. Um, I think, you know, you're finding some really cool line of action in some of these. And let's see here. What do we got? There we go. Yeah, really fun attitudes and things. Really, really nice. I think you really went for it with these battle scenes. Really fun. Just like that arc back. Whoa, really cool. And you have this leaning back one, so I get this, make sure it's not cropped. You have that leaning back vibe. Really fun. Almost looks like she's a little drunk or something. Just like, woo! So maybe that could be a little different, but I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, just to be a little nitpicky, since we're all here talking about this stuff, let's see here. All right, all right. Cool. Sorry, checking that chat over on Instagram. Matt and Jenny. Sorry, I was looking at Matt and Jenny's comments. Just checking the comments real quick, guys. If you have questions over on Instagram or YouTube, yeah, dial it in. I'll take a look. Talk about stuff. I like to talk about stuff. All right. Matt and Jenny says, my drawings look like two drawings are repeats of other submissions. Well, it's, I mean, you know, we're all drawing from the same model, so it's okay. Everybody's drawings are different. That's for sure. Okay, anyway, Mohi, just be a little nitpicky. This one, where's my, so this one here, just watch those proportions a little bit. I know even during class we were talking about exaggerating proportions. But just watching that a little bit. Let's see, I'm not sure which leg is in front. I'm going to go with the right leg in front. I don't know if I'm right or wrong here. But I feel like some of these are getting a little PC party. Is that a, this is why I'm not an English teacher. Like they're drawn in um, of the thinking of the parts rather than the whole. And so they get a little bit let's kind of do what you did there. But I don't know. This, again, it's me being a little bit picky. But I feel like it's going to drop that head down. Yeah. But all that to say, I feel like if you're thinking of the thing as a whole, and I don't know that this is, you're always doing this. I just feel like there's just a few of these, and that I feel like you're concentrating on one part of the body and then moving to the other part. And we all do it. So, you know. But it's just one of those things, like, how can I draw the figure as a whole and get some like sweet energy out of it, right? Okay. This one here gets a little action figure-y to me. It's like, let's see. Maybe go extreme. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't like that idea. Let's see. I like that you're leading with the chest. Oop. Hang on. Move some layers around here. Okay. Yeah. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, cool, Mohi. This is a mechanical thing. Sometimes the model will pose incorrectly as far as body mechanics goes because they're just doing a single poses and trying to inspire. But like, I feel like this may be a little nitpicky here, but I wonder if we were to swap things around a little bit there. So chest out like you have, yeah, and then I'm gonna bring that leg back. So I like what you did with the arm motion, and that to me is the biggest, most important thing with this battle. It's like maybe the character is about to come down on somebody's head, or maybe they're just running into battle. I don't know, right? But kind of going off the page here. Whoa! Sorry, I just looked at the image here. I'm drawing right over top myself. Sorry about that. But all is well. We have fixed it. But I might bring this arm back, or this leg back, and this one forward, just to play with opposites. Because if this arm is going to be back, and that to me is the most important thing in your pose, because I like your arm up, and this is what's going on. If this arm's going to be back, the legs need to be the opposite direction, you know, and that maybe there's not a rule to that completely, but I feel like this front leg should be back, and I've chosen just to make it a straight, and then the back leg, or the character's right leg, the far leg, is the one that's in the back, and those opposites will help do something a little interesting. So right now everything's just like a little bent, a little action figure-y, and I'm just trying to figure out how can we make some straights in there and loosen it up a little bit. So anyway, nice work, Mohi, as always. Looking great. Mr. Scott, this is really fun. A lot of energy in this pose, dude. Very nice, very nice. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Let's see, where are we? pushing some buttons. Hang in there, guys. Nope. Got the spinning wheel here. There we go. That's all I wanted to do, folks, right there. All right, here we go. So this one, I love it. Yeah, I just wanted to say, hey, I really like it. You know? Let's see. What was Kelly doing with that particular one? Let's see. I love that you really pushed, you know? I like this down. Yeah, I don't know. I really like it. There's something about it that looks a little scrunched with the neck and the shoulders. That's the only thing I'm thinking about right there. But I think overall, it's a really fun pose. This one, I would push the femininity. I think I said that correctly. We talked about this a little bit with the poses or the costume design on this. She's a warrior, but she's also rather petite, feminine, and I feel like we could play a little bit of something with these proportions here, just to caricature a little bit. Sometimes that's all right, right? I'm not going to take away from your pose here. Might be fun to do something a little different. But she's looking a little beefy, and I wonder if we can, because Astrid is the character design herself is very, she's, especially in the first one, right? She's like teenager, and let's see, she did have some big old boots though, didn't she? Big furry boots. But not that you want to totally distort somebody, but the thing about this costume, the waist, right? Not the hips, but the waist is up higher, and it was almost like a tucked in shirt in a way, right? And she had those cool skulls and flappy leather straps, which are really awesome. And but I feel like pushing that a little bit, just to check that, just to get a little bit more of the girly thing going on. Yeah, that's all. And I know this drawing isn't the one that has the hood, but I love the hood that she had on. That was so cool. Anyway, yeah, I would just watch those proportions. Same with the other drawing right next to it. She gets a little bit big and thick, and just try to hone in some of those differences with that. Yeah, pushing that a little bit more. The feminine side. Very nice, Mr. Scott. Yeah, there she is with the hood. So cool. Yeah, I love that. Really good. You did better than me on that one from class. I remember I was like, oh, I screwed that up. I didn't put the gesture with the hand or anything in the right spot, but really, really nice. Good job, sir. Mr. Luke. There he is. All right, here we go. All right, checking that chat over here, yo. Hey, YouTube. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Chat it in there. What's up? All right, we got Luke, and then we got Matt, and then we're going to call it a night. So 2 more little drawings here. Mr. Luke. What's up, dude? Hey, Luke, you're here. Woohoo! What's up, man? Hardest working man in the business. I'm gonna erase that a little bit. Oh, I guess I can't. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. All right. Yeah, if you guys have any drawing questions or animation questions or Imagineering questions, art questions. All right. Let's see, Mr. Luke. Similar thing, man. Just a little bit on the let's work on the female proportions a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Is that in there? Yeah. Cool. All right. Because I think your overall body proportions are good. They look like, but the that waist. How can we? Yep. And sometimes, like, I feel like I don't remember this pose, but I feel like you can push a little bit more of what Kelly was doing. It's like, why not, right? And I think you've been doing that better and better. Kind of drawn on top of the sheet here for the sake of quickness. Sometimes I like to, instead of thinking of it like in block of arm, trying to extend. We talk about, you've been with us for a while, but like I like to try to think of those lines of action, or you have that the big idea of line of action, right, for your pose. But I like to try to think of the arms and the legs as continuations of those. Okay. And then go back in later and get your proportion, or not, your costumes and muscles and things like that. Okay. Those boots were pretty sweet though. Those are really fun. So again, just looking like at your waist, it got a little low. Okay. I think you could and not talk about the hips. Okay. Hips are basically um, the widest part. Okay. And then what you're like out here, like where I go back and look at our anatomy lessons we did. Like the hips are, you're gonna get your bones are down here connecting, and then your waist though, which is basically the top of the hip bones, that bucket, right? That hip cavity, that's up here somewhere, and this is where the costume is resting. And so, like, hips and waist are different, right? The hips are the widest part, and then it's, especially with the female, it cinches into the waist. Okay. All right. Cool, dude. I like the that swinging one you did. Really cool. Um, but that's basically the note. Is I'm just gonna bring that centered a little bit. The one where she's swinging down there, it looks like she's swinging the hammer. I think that's a fun one. I like that she's leading with her leg. Like, you made a decision, which is good. It's like she's leading with that front leg, and maybe her body's dragging behind a little bit. I don't know. It's interesting. It doesn't bother me. But um, again, watch those proportions. Her torso got really long there. Okay. So yeah, that's it. Good job, dude. Mr. Matt. Matt, thanks for submitting some drawings, man. Hope you guys are doing well. You and Jenny. Hi, Jenny. Alrighty. Very fun, and I love the shout out and your drawings as always. Thanks, buddy. Matt's been a long time member. Really good artist. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think just to do something different. Here, let me. Crud. Hang on a second, guys. Hang on. Trying to do something here. Nope. Hang on, Mr. Matt. Oh, darn. Okay, never mind. I was trying to do something here and I didn't do it. There we go. Oh well. All right, I was going to try to crop that drawing, but I'm not able to do it. Okay. Okay, here we go. What was I going to do? So, again, that leaning idea, but I think you captured something here, kind of sweet here, which is nice. I like her proportions a little bit. She looks very teenagery. She looks young, I should say. So that's really cool. And this just might be my preference. So since I have the microphone, I almost want to. I think it's okay to sometimes have both shoulders up, with the thing. But I wonder with that lean if we should drop a shoulder, you know, just to give it some interest. And I think you have enough lean in there. We talked about, again, like you said earlier in the chat. You're like, well, I think some other people did this to this pose. But I think just for the sake of trying some differences, I might play with those angles a little bit. Kind of like we said in the others, right? Like she's hiding behind that shoulder. And maybe, and I don't think the model had the hood on, but maybe as a thing of comfort, you might put the hood on. It's just an idea. And if you drop this shoulder here, I don't know. Like I said, it's a preference. I don't know that it's right or wrong, honestly. But just to give some extremes to the drawing, I wanted to drop that shoulder angle and maybe push up the hip just a little bit, or maybe even straighten it out, just to get those differences of angles. I think yours are almost even, not quite, not really that even, but very subtle. Sometimes when you push for opposites and things, you can really add some, even if it's like a subtle opposite, you can add some really nice drama. So yeah, I don't know, something like that. And this one, dude. All right. Hi, Jenny, again. Cool. Checking that chat. Yeah, no questions tonight from Instagram. What's going on, man? It's quiet. Okay. A lot of people coming in and out. Thanks for joining us. All right, so let's see here. This one. Let's see here. All right. I'm assessing the situation, Matt. I think, I don't know, I'm going to start sketching. Let me see. Let's see here. Wish I had some like cool music for you or something, but I don't. I like the attitude that you got. Let's see. I think there was another one of these earlier. I don't know. I think it might be a proportions thing. Let's see here. I don't mind the hair. What you did with the hair, maybe that braid is blowing. That's cool. Let's see. Yeah, I don't mind the hip angle. I think it's okay from what you're doing. Because there's a lot of spunk in the model pose from this. It might just be a matter of dropping this down here a little bit, and I'm kind of, I like the lean that you have in her torso, but I'm kind of thinking just to make this crazy arm gesture on the hip thing read, I kind of drop down her arm a bit and open this negative space up a little bit. Sometimes you have to play with the silhouette of these things. And I think her proportions get a little bit wonky. And Matt, watch out for the dress thing with like legs shooting out a little bit. Sometimes that happens, right? But I think just remembered a little bit of anatomy, some of that stuff. But anyway, I'm just tweaking, dude. Just tweaking. This was a tough one. But yeah, watch those negative spaces. It's a small thing. And I do think the proportions got a little bit cartoony. All right, that's about it. Just nitpicking. Always love seeing your work, though. Very cool. Well, everybody, we're going to call it a night. Thanks for joining us here at Redline Live. Join us this week for All in Gesture. We're going to have Mr. Ralph back as our model. I'm still honing in on the theme, but it'll be something really cool. We have 2 different options that we're choosing from, so I guess you'll just have to wait and find out. Join our Discord server. You go to Discord and look for look for All in Gesture artists, or you can go to allingesture.com and you can find all the buttons and join our class. It's awesome. Great crew of people. But thanks for joining us tonight, and thank you everybody who submitted their drawings. Appreciate you, and we will talk to you Saturday. Good night.